We now return to Disaster City. A lot of bad things. Okay, well let's set this to llama speed, and I think first crisis we're gonna have is the electricity situation. I'm not really sure why, seeing as how these should start having some electricity. Okay, we're reconnecting some of these areas. That's reconnected. We're not seeing a reconnection here yet. Okay, and it looks like it's automatically bulldozing and connecting, or rebuilding, reconstructing. Get my words right at some point. It's just very, very slowly here. And immediately we have big impact demand for residential. Now this little area out here that has yet to be disturbed looks like a pretty good neighborhood. People are coming out here in droves. So while we've got what little bit of money I have left, and you'll notice I did spend a little too much and I have less money than I did when I ended the video. Last time, let's go ahead and build a little bit of a transport hub here, just to get people to and from their work. Okay, we're seeing this grow back up. Before I even bother to look at what the game wants to tell me I need to be working on, I'm just going to go ahead and let the city rebuild itself. I hate that that is not powered, so let's go ahead and just power it. Yeah, all demands now are fully entrenched in just rebuilding. So I did look through my ratios here, and we are approaching 10,000 people. Well, we were, not anymore. But at 10,000 people, the ratio goes from 4 to 1 to 3 to more of a 4 to 2 to 2. So at some point, we're very close to needing equal parts industry and commerce. And I'm very tempted to actually fill that in there. I don't think I'm going to, though. What I'm actually going to do instead is take this road. Yeah, I'm going to make a dead-end road here. It'll come right up to the waterfront. Is it really worth it, though? Is it really worth filling in this back area here? No, I've changed my mind on that one. Let's actually destroy that road, which is probably going to destroy everything in that area. And instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to consider maybe using this for pumps, but also parks. Actually, that'd be a very nice park right there. Yeah, let's do something like this. Then what I'd like to do is maybe line that front with parks as well. Okay, apparently I can't do that in junctions? Are those important junctions? Is there a reason I can't do that? They're not expensive, so it's not the money. Put a park here. And who knows, if traffic gets out of hand right here, maybe we'll end up putting like a subway or depot or something, I don't know. Make sure those are watered. See, those parks are not watered. Even though they're right now, I guess that's just because they haven't developed yet. Okay, so at least our money situation is heading back to where it needs to be. That will aid in the rebuilding. And we are getting a bit of traffic out here because everyone is now coming out to these areas for the jobs. So I think we're going to start seeing a situation here again. And what I might be able to do... not very easily, unfortunately. I was thinking maybe what I could do is get a rail. That might help a little bit. Seeing major industrial demand again. I mean, even by the demand, I have got more than half of the requirement for what I've got in residential. I do not understand this major demand in industry, other than maybe it's the port that's doing it. It's about the only thing that would make a lot of sense, is that this drove demand. Oh, I forgot a bus stop down here now. There we go. So I guess I could just continue on out here. I'd really hate to keep putting so much dirty industry along the backside here. In fact, maybe we can go ahead and start funding a separate area over here. The more I do that, though, I've got to bear in mind the whole, you know, transport network. So let's keep it going here, I suppose. At this point, though, I really do kind of feel like maybe I should start getting some trains going. Need the water pipes. Now is commerce demands an airport. Opinion poll, 13% like taxes, 12% like crime, 8%. I'm assuming this means approval on those. I just desire to say property taxes are primitive, repressive, and regressive. Only barbaric societies continue to tax the rich. Right. I don't mind them. They're what make New City the cute municipality that it is. The mayor and his cronies are a bunch of greedy whales. They're taking that tax cash and filling their pockets. I'm rebuilding the city, actually. I don't mind them. They're what makes New City the town it is. I work at a mortgage company, and I have to say things are getting scary. We are foreclosing more mortgages. Maybe you're foreclosing because half the town was underwater. Pimples are linked to computerized railroad. Cold front is reported here. Okay, well, people have been complaining about taxes. He says we should raise taxes. But why don't we maybe... I guess I could lower it. That's probably a significant chunk now. It's a significant chunk now. If we're going to do that, though, maybe we can start doing income tax. Ooh, look how much money is coming in from income tax. That's probably going to drive away even more. What people really want right now is just a job. So an airport, huh? I just don't think that our city is really... I could put the airport along the backside, maybe. I don't think our city is really justifying the large ports. Like, I should have... When this got destroyed, I should have actually de-zoned it. That's what I should have done. We just can't really justify it. And where would I put it, anyway? Maybe out here? Here? Along the river? It's got to be somewhere that it's not going to get heavily trafficked. Up on the hill? That might actually work. Putting it right up here on this hill. Now, I'm waiting for power to come in for wind. Because that can go all over the place. Alright, well, I guess I'm just being too timid on our developments here. What is unemployment like? Unemployment is actually tanking a little bit, and shoots right back up. And goes right back down. Okay, we've hit the 10,000 population again. Crime is comparable. We need more firemen. Bump that up to 75. Now it's adequate. One thing that I do need to consider, and I absolutely have not been, is that my responses there, I don't know if you saw or noticed, but when I was responding to the flood, I was able to put down 2 police units, and that is because I have 2 headquarters. So the number of response units you have is equal to the number of buildings you've got there. So putting down another set of emergency everything over in this area would probably be a good idea. Even though I don't think it actually directly impacts response times for like coverage. I think it's all just citywide coverage. What is this? Large apartment building. Medium levels of crime. Crime is going up again. What else can we do? Can we do anything ordinance-wise to do that? Neighborhood watch. I could do an anti-drug campaign, I suppose. That's getting to be quite pricey there. We could also do a volunteer fire department to help out with that, but we don't really have a lot of issues with fire right now. Let's try the anti-drug campaign. See what that does for us. We appear to have lost some zone here. I'm gonna bring this back down to turtle. So I guess it was destroyed for so long it just decided it wasn't even gonna bother building back, and then it just stayed as rubble. This could probably be cleaned up a little bit too here. Alright. What is our traffic like? 84 cars, 61 cars. Let's look at you. Traffic. Traffic's still pretty low. So we've done a very good job for that. Or at least I think. Even though it's congested here, we're not terribly watered. I think that just means the road isn't watered, which I think is fine. What was I saying? Right. So we're seeing traffic here, but it's normal. Like, we're not seeing it in the headlines anymore that it's awful. So I feel we are safe in that regard. Yeah. Okay, I'm still kind of confused about what is going on here. That maybe if I... Well, we don't need to delete it just yet. Funky delusions. Inhabitants with delusions continue to prey for unscrupulous purveyors of bogus tires. Although incurable, delusions can be relieved by tires, whereas bogus tires provide no relief and cost about 1/10 to produce. You can't hardly tell the difference unless you got delusions, says funky delusion sufferer Vanessa Green. But if you got it, bogus tires don't do you no good at all. It's a crime, I tell you. I want to know why the police don't stop this. That's what we pay them for, stated one upset citizen, clutching his pocket. A woman at the scene was overheard whispering, "I must be a guy thing. It must be a guy thing." On the local radio, stress linked to one-sided coin. Despite manufacturers' claims regarding safety of their product, a recent census by Floyd Labs painfully suggests certain afflictions could probably result from prolonged contact with any kind of one-sided coin. Okay. City's ugly side. I guess this has got to be like an approval thing. How is pollution in New City? My dad says it's our smog that makes the sunsets beautiful. You really need to ask? I think you can't see the hills anymore. Okay. So we still haven't solved pollution at all. let's look at pollution here. And if we actually turn this on, we can see that there is a heavy, heavy, heavy amount of it right by industrial, which is to be expected. Filtering over into commercial, but just outside of the residential area. Let me come over here. We're also seeing it here as well. So I guess maybe a larger buffer zone would help? Citizens are still demanding an airport. Okay. Well, let's get this underway, I guess. This is going to be hellacious. Okay, let's get a road. We will do a road here. What is the difference? Allow ships to pass and is cheaper than a suspension bridge, but there's a limit to how big a river it can cross. Expensive, allows ships to pass and can cross almost any river. So the fact that it's giving it to me, can I just use that? Let's go with a raised bridge here. I would actually like to do a suspension because this actually seems like it's a pretty... Shit. Dang it. Let me pause the game here for a moment. Or not pause, let's go turtle. Like this looks like you should put a suspension bridge there. It's very, very pricey. But you know what? For the look of it, we'll go with it. Okay. So now, we need to build... yeah, okay, I'll build one here. I was thinking maybe I should leave a little bit of room. And then to get the airport up here... Let's see, if I build a road going like that, I can have it come off the side here as well. Let's go build an airport. 4,000 buccarinos. And I don't know that this is actually going to work, seeing as how I don't have electricity over here, I don't have water over here. Can I, you know what, this might actually work out. Let's do this. Let's do a little waterfall here. Hey, we got wind power now. What the hell are you doing? Do I not have... I don't have money. I don't have money. We're gonna have to wait just a little bit. Just a little bit. Probably would help. Hey, what do we have here? Mayor's house. It's now City Hall. Okay. Well, I'll hold on to City Hall until we actually build a new town center. Okay, money's coming back. Let's go to Turtle. Let's put this in. Power plant. I think I might actually just put a wind generator right there. Let's do a power line here. And then we will top this off with a little power plant there. Okay, so we got that. We will also need to have water. Should I just put a pump right next to it here? Or maybe it's just not big enough? I'm gonna feel a fool if that's not big enough to develop something. In fact, we might be in a bit of an issue there. I'll have to look. I'll have to look at what we can do for airports, because maybe I could put an airport here. That would be awful for noise pollution and congestion. But maybe that's a solution? Because we're not making an airport. We're definitely not making an airport. That's what that looks like to me. That is unfortunate. But also, this would probably not fly under any regulations. No pun intended. Having an airport right by a giant-ass windmill. we would have issues getting that approved. Well, let's, shit, we still got industry demand. Like, major industry demand. And if we look not at this one, not at this one, look at this one. So these ratios must be completely off because industrial demand is supposed to be, at this point, half of the residential demand. So, like, we should be able to get a lot more residential in here, but apparently they want jobs. Just okay, yeah. This airport isn't working. That was a major waste of money. That is highly unfortunate. Let's set this up here. That way I can still surround this with water pumps. And we'll just go ahead and put industrial all the way out here. Did I not have enough money for that? What the hell? There we go. Let's skip this song, shall we? Yeah. Well, maybe I could put a train station here and then have the rail run along that. That would actually look kind of cool, and then it might allow us to get out here. Realistically, I should probably start considering leaving a little bit of a gap. Maybe even along the back, running rail along the back, and then have it poke out with a little station. That could actually work out. I really want to get to my 10 by 10 grid idea, though. I want to get around to working on that. So let's check out what we've got here for space. I guess we could just get started. Like using that and just start making my grid and get it working. Unfortunately, we're just not seeing the demand that I need to justify doing stuff like that. And especially not with money. I keep spending so much damn money. Let's speed this up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to raise taxes on industry again. What are people telling me here? Increase total funds. You know it's probably having an impact, probably the income tax. Probably having an impact on the growth of our residentials there. We always need funding. A minus, okay, that's going down. The hospital probably could stand a little bit more. Let's bump this up to like 75. What are we doing here? We need more firemen, because of course we do. Crime's at an all-time low, so at least we got that under wraps. Okay. So we're still roughly in the 400 to 600 simoleons a year ballpark. 800 dead in a tornado. Not here, though. Tepid heart disease. They've observed it before, and they're saying it again. Cut your fat. In her new book, In Your Mouth, Dr. Mick Young, resident expert of Houston General, convinced patients momentarily admitted for chronic warts that changing their handbag would improve their lives. The medical expert in what is called the Jack Sprat plan also stressed the importance of a low-fat diet, including, but by no means limited to, piranha tongues. Yoga is also a part of the plan, but some of the soap opera stars on the plan protested on grounds that doctors take immediate action on cures using guppy hormones. Ant ranchers everywhere kicked enthusiastically at the news. "Oh my gosh, I just can't believe it," blurted one. Well, okay. I still don't know. Are these approval or dissent? Like, are 3% of people happy with unemployment, or does this mean we are down to 3% unemployment? I don't know. Some for me, some for you. Do you mind metropolis taxes? It's not bad at all. We used to live in Manchester. I got shot 6 times in 1 year. I've only been shot once here. I recently resent the time I really resent the time I sit in traffic. I'm always thinking about how I don't spend enough time with my family, and there I am, just wasting hours sitting in my car. Is this a trick question? Who would not mind? Yes, we are taxed way too high for what we get. I don't think we're making out very well in this deal. Federal taxes, state taxes, city taxes, they all suck. Okay. So we could maybe lower residential taxes? Let's try and boost that? Or possibly commercial taxes. Although commercial really is going to be dependent upon the other two. It really comes down to just more of this industry. See, now this is getting way out here, and it's not developing. Probably because we're at cheetah speed. So I don't know. I don't really know what to believe. And really, the traffic looks to be right here. So this probably would be dealt with better via a bus stop. It's really getting bad out here now. Hurricane warning, hurricane warning. Commerce demands an airport. Yeah, I'm going to have to look up how to make this work, because it's not. That's unfortunate. Maybe it just can't be that high, I don't know. Okay, now we're seeing some big demands. Now we're seeing some big demands in residential and industrial. So I think that's justification now for starting out on the big areas out here that I want to build on. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 10. Okay. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then 10. I gotta look at that again. Alright. Significantly bigger, but I think we might be alright. If I like lined this with pumps, put a tower there, maybe a park there, or a subway? Okay. Let's think here. We're gonna want, let's start out with light. That's gonna fill up reasonably quickly, I feel. But I do want to switch back into this plan, this idea of utilizing the growth cycle. So as it diminishes, then we tear it down and start building the city center of high density. 1, 2, 3. See, 1, 2, 3. Well, so I guess if I just do that then, huh? Okay. So I'm not sure we're gonna make it here. Ooh, just barely. None, thank you. Okay. Let's come in with more light residential. And I am just going to let this sit for a minute. People wanted a zoo long ago, yeah? We could put a zoo right here. Not for 3,000 buccarinos, but we will do that eventually. Can I get a power plant across here? I don't know if I can get a suspension bridge across. So are we gonna have to do our own power line? I do have some power. Let's grab it from here for right now. I'm probably gonna have to make some major adjustments as we go along here. Drag that to there. Okay, so yes, now we're going to have to deal with the water situation. Let's get at least 3 pumps going here. Let's get pipes. And then we will send the pipes down this way, and this way, and this way. Just check on that again. Okay. Then go back to the surface, and let's run this and see what we get here. Of course, those don't have electricity themselves, so they need to be electrified. Oh hey, guess what is developing right now? So I guess I just didn't have it electrified enough? It needed an actual power lines to go through? That's weird. Okay, let's speed this up a little bit more. Let's pull back here. Let's pull back here. We're seeing out here. Alright, so we're going to have issues. And we're starting to see planes landing. We're going to have issues here with this. Like, massively have issues with this. Because this is where all the jobs are. So, we're... man, I just keep hitting the wrong buttons all day long. So, until I get industry set up over here, and we're now seeing a big commercial demand. That's good, I guess. So what can I do here? I'm going to have to start thinking about adding an industrial sector out here. And I don't want it to be as close. I would really like to have a good separation and hold the phone. We got some fancy looking buildings here. The Theater Square. Yeah. And this place really developed over here. I like it. I appreciate that fact. This is still a little bit wonky. You'd think that with the park right in the middle of the block, this would actually be a very, very highly sought after area, but not so much. Yeah, God, this makes me cringe. I really do need to... I think I'll put down a train. When we get some money. How much does a train station cost? Rail depot, 500. Okay, I mean... But yeah, I think that's a good way to solve this, is put some rail depots down and maybe develop a block out here. I don't want to put too much development on this, though, just because it was kind of a temporary holdover and bad planning ultimately. But I do want to get kind of involved in this over here. So I'm going to start developing a higher industrial area over here, I think. And we'll start spreading the city. We'll start sprawling. It's kind of weird how this became the center. Eventually it will not. And I think as time goes on, as this area becomes denser and we kind of grow it a little bit more, I'm going to start demolishing some of this and maybe move industry out here. In fact, if that's the case, maybe I should just start doing that now. I'll start transplanting a lot. The only problem with that idea is that, you know, people have to get to work, so then suddenly your bridges become heavily trafficked and all that stuff. So it becomes an issue. You kind of want pockets everywhere. You don't just want like an area of your city to be industrial. But maybe I'll start doing that. Maybe I'll start pushing some of these places out. Although it's high land value now. If we look at this real quick, because I think it's time to end the episode here. Look at land value. Really? Most of the... oh, good God. Most of the high land value right now is actually in that industrial area. That's counterintuitive. Is it the light color that's higher? Oh, okay, it didn't fill in for some reason. Do we have to zoom out a little bit more? So let's look at this. What is going on here? 240, no? That is not what I need. Compared to a 94,000, okay. Compared to 100,000. So yeah, the dark blue is where it's at. And surprisingly, there's a very large price right here at the buffer between commercial and industrial. What is it like over here? Okay, that's kind of what you'd expect right there, but yeah. So we're going to have to think about this. Cultivating this riverfront property right here is going to be very, very pricey. But that's only good for our treasury. Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at that. We can maybe start funding things a little bit better around here. What is our health? Okay, health is dropping off precipitously. That is awful. When you're a baby, you've got good prospects, but into adulthood, your life expectancy is about 60 years, not so good. And then our EQ has sort of plateaued, but it's less than it was. So we need to just start funding a lot more of that. So hopefully what I can do with all this growth, as I spread and sprawl here, is we'll start funding a lot more hospitals, schools. We'll start getting that going. The education level, I definitely think, is going to be a good bet, because that will ultimately allow me to then start getting better technological industries, and that means less pollution. In fact, right now we're seeing the electronics industry is actually quite high, and there's a lot of demand for it. Interesting. The food industry, not so much, or textiles. Interesting. I wonder if that has to do with the tax, or the land value, more than anything else. I don't know. Shoot. We're going to have to change the coastline if that's where I wanted my other bridge. Maybe change up a little something here. Yeah, we could still get... Okay, well, anyway, I'm gonna end this one here, and we'll look at future improvements next time.